Racing has been a genre of entertainment for centuries. Dating back to 4500 BC, the act of racing horses began to gain popularity as a way for competitors to truly prove who was the best. On June 13, 1895, the first automotive race took place from Paris to Bordeaux as an effort to promote the usage of gasoline-powered cars.
Since then, the automotive racing industry has evolved into different competitions such as Formula One, the World Endurance Championship, the World Rally Championship, Formula Drift, and Formula E, and much, much more. With this expansion comes many enthusiasts, but here's the catch: money. Racing as a sport and profession is very expensive, and with so many people wanting to participate in this excitement, people began to wonder, how do we solve this problem?
Racing games have coincided with the invention of the arcade games, with one of the very first ones being Grand Check 10 on the Atari arcade system. This was the first arcade game that included a working steering wheel so that players could drive their cars seen on screen. Since then, many different games have been developed on various platforms including PlayStations, Xboxes, and personal computers. However, sim racing wouldn't begin to develop as a game genre until 2005, when Forza Motorsport came to the market. This game was the first game that allowed for players to race each other online through the Xbox Live feature.
This competitive idea would be implemented solely in iRacing, an online multiplayer true sim racer. This would be the first time in which a racing game would be created as accurate to real life as possible. In fact, after its creation in 2008, it is still the most hailed and active sim racing game of all time, with updates coming out to further enhance the realism.
For those that want to become actual racing drivers that simply did not have the money, there was an opportunity back in 2008. The Gran Turismo franchise, rival to the Forza franchise, introduced an online competition that offered to train the top racers in Gran Turismo 6 to become real race car drivers. Players would be given identical cars and would aim to get the lowest time possible on a given track. They called it the Gran Turismo Academy and deemed the program as an alternative path to motor racing. I did in fact participate in this event back in 2008. However, I didn't get close to the top times, which showcased the raw talent players had when it came to racing online.
Nowadays, the sim racing genre has been extremely popular, with racers creating various setups to imitate real-life cockpits. Games in the modern era include iRacing, Gran Turismo Sport, Dirt Rally 2.0, F1 2021, Assetto Corsa, the Project Car franchise, and CarX Online, with the difficulty of these games and other games have risen in an effort to bring the sim racing genre to the public. Games like the Forza Horizon series, the Need for Speed series, the main Gran Turismo series, and the Forza series all help newer players get to grips with the difficulty of racing, while also adding different types of motor competitions to have players explore the various regions of motorsports.
With the mass availability of racing sims, there have obviously been some major effects, some positive and of course some negative. Let's start with the good side first. Firstly, the accessibility. You don't need an expensive Thrustmaster in order to experience racing. You only need a console or a computer to run the game and a simple controller. With this, many people can easily experience the excitement and realism of the games. Plus, it trains newcomers the proper ways to get quicker at racing at no cost to their lives. People can race with no harm done to themselves.
No innovation is perfect, and sim racing is not an exception, especially with the competitive mindset. Many people may become extremely agitated at the mistakes of other people and may intentionally target other drivers and races to instigate revenge.
Come on,
baby. Do the
Come on.
championship on the last
come on,
corner.
come on, come on. Oh, you should have done that.
A great example of this came from the official Indianapolis 500 Grand Prix that took place during the COVID-19 shutdown. According to Archetta.com, on the final lap of the virtual Grand Prix, Oliver Askew, an Aero McLaren driver, was taken out by Santiago Ferrari on purpose in order to win the Grand Prix. His actions as a real-life driver was criticized by many on social media, with some begging the question of the legitimacy of sim racing.
Aw, dude, it's a video game. Come on.
Regardless, sim racing is growing ever more prominent in the real racing world. Famous race car drivers such as Lando Norris and Max Verstappen use games such as iRacing in order to enhance their skills. Lando Norris himself claimed that sim racing gives him the same buzz as racing for real, showcasing the excitement and joy he gets from racing online. At a young age, I was introduced to sim racing, with my first experience being Gran Turismo 4, and I could say from experience that it has been quite a journey. When racing at K1 Speed, an indoor karting establishment, the skills I have gained from racing online can be easily applied from there. Although my days of being the top 1% of Gran Turismo Sport are gone, the flexibility and the exploration of these games have to offer bring me nothing short of joy. With these games, I can experience all types of motorsports including endurance racing, Formula 1, rallying, circuit racing, and even drifting.
Personally, I'm not very knowledgeable or experienced in motorsports. I don't have a crazy wheel or pedal set up for me, so I actually enjoy the more arcade style of games. Games like Forza Horizon 5 or Need for Speed Heat are great examples of that, because all I need is my keyboard, mouse, or when I feel like it, I can steal my dad's PS4 controller. And in those games, I still get the basic concepts like the racing line or throttle and steering control when in a drift, and I can take these concepts and use them on the track for some time attack or drifting. With the innovation of sim racing, racing has never been more accessible than it is now with the digital age. More and more people are beginning to find themselves captivated by the races and even gone professional because of them. In recent times, F1 esports champion Chem Babluski became the first esports champion to step up to Formula 2. With his accomplishment, it is very likely that others will begin to follow suit, with teams looking for promising and young talent online.
Unfortunately, that is it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and on that bombshell, good night.